what we're going to try to do now is go through how to calculate a linear, quadratic, or cubic regression using TI-92 graphing calculator system. Next several steps will walk you through the process of entering data and then having the calculator work out the best fit curve for that data. All right, here we go. Our first step is going to be to clear the variables we intend to use from the calculator's memory. Begin by pushing F4. This will bring up a menu of other functions, including the del_var function, short for delete variable. That will appear down inside the text input box. Then, using the keyboard, enter xy_vars, because that is the name of the variable we intend to use. When we push enter, that will then clear that name from the memory and allow us to enter it. Now we're ready to begin entering data. Push the Apps button to bring up a list of apps. Scroll down to number 6, Data Matrix Editor, and then sideways, down to number 3, or New. This will be a new set of data we're going to enter. Once you press Enter, this screen will appear. Leave Type as Data, Folder as Main, and in the variable box, type in XYVARS for XY variables. Press Enter once to end typing in the name of the variable set, and again to OK this. That will bring up this screen where we can begin to enter data into the two columns. For this example, we're entering our x values into column 1 and our y values into column 2 and using a fairly basic quadratic pattern. Now that our data has been entered, we are ready to look at a graph of it. A scatter plot will often show us a pattern in the data. First, press F2 to enter the plot setup. Then, from that screen, press F1 to define the scatter plot. Plot type should be set to scatter and mark to box. In the box labeled X, type in C1 using the keyboard, and in the next box for Y, type in C2. We are going to use column 1 and column 2 as our X and Y values. When you are done, press Enter twice to exit this screen and save the data. When we are ready to view the data, press the green diamond key and then the W on the keyboard, above which is Y equals. If there are any other plots already stored in the calculator, delete them. Then, press the diamond and the R button for graph to see your scatter plot graphed. If necessary, you may also press F2 and select a zoom pattern to show the data more clearly on the screen. Now we are ready to actually get the regression curve for our data. First, press second function and the escape key to quit back to the main screen. Then, press the Apps button and select app number 6, specifically for data and matrix editing. Then, press 1 to use the current data set that we have. This will show us our current data set. Press F5 to bring up the calculation window. Select from calculation type, quadratic regression. That best matches our current data set. If your data when graphed looked more like a line, you would suggest linear regression, or for a very sharp curve, cubic regression. Using the keyboard, enter C1 and C2 for the x and y variables. Below that, where it asks where to store the reg or regression equation, select y1 of x. This will allow us to see the actual graph. When you are done, hit the Enter key twice. This will bring up a window that shows what values it believes are the best fit for your x and y data. This is set up using standard notation, where a is the coefficient on the x squared term, b is on the x, and c is our intercept. R2 represents the confidence in the data. If we want to see how the data looks on the graph, press diamond y equals. That will bring up the y equals screen, and we can see that our regression function has been placed there for us. Then, pressing diamond R or graph, we can see it sketch the graph through our best fit data points. The trace function will allow us to trace along the graph to find all the points in between our data points. We can use this to receive values that best fit our curve, but were not in the given data set. When we are done, it is best to delete the XY_vars from the calculator's memory in order to allow the next operation to go smoothly. This completes your tutorial. And that wraps up how to take the TI-92 and find a linear or quadratic or cubic regression that best fits a given set of data. There are multiple ways to get these. Many apps available for an iPhone or Android can also be found. Very few are going to be free. So if your plan is to use this technology, plan to spend $1 or $2 to actually unlock all of the features. Many apps promote themselves as free and only have basic calculator functionality. In order to get that regression, you're going to have to make an in-app purchase or pay for it up front. Either way, we can still use this technology to create a best fit curve for any set of data, and with it, make predictions.